This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, good morning. Okay, so we are discussing about Excel application automation. Okay, so basically, what is the requirement in this is reading the Excel data into sequence. Okay, so we have to develop a sequence basically to read the data from Excel data and display that through a message box. Okay, so before we start, is there anything, any doubts regarding any previous sessions?
Uh, no, Saket, I have not gone through the last two sessions. I was in a vacation, so I just today only just come.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go through the videos maybe by today.
Fine, no issue. Okay, open our project. So we have already started this Excel sequence. Okay, so we'll continue that. Okay, so go to projects and open here. This is our, yeah. So this is our sequence. So basically, I have taken a new sequence. Okay, so in new sequence, I have taken Excel application scope. Okay, so this is one of the Excel. This is one of the activity which is mandatorily should be used in order to start working with Excel. So basically, this will open the instance of the Excel application. Okay, so we can see all the activities which are related to Excel. Okay, okay. So and one more thing which we have to like because you have not attended. So Excel is so it is not part of Uipath, right? So Excel is a external application. Okay,
Mhm.
we have to establish the communication between Uipath and Excel, right? So we have to download the package, Excel package. So from where we have to download manage packages. From manage packages, whenever we want to download a new package, we have to go to manage packages and search for related package. Okay, so I have typed Excel. Okay, so this is uipath.excel.activities is a package. We have to install this one. So select this one. Okay, so if it is not installed, you will get a installation button. Okay, so just click on install. That will be installed. That's it. Because this is already installed, so it is not showing as a installation button, but it is showing uninstall. Okay, so if you want to uninstall, you can just click and save. Okay.
Okay.
So before we start working with Excel, this is what we have to do. Fine. So coming back to the sequence. So I have taken, you can mute. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Please mute. Okay. So I have taken Excel application scope activity. Okay, I have taken an activity called Excel application scope. This is the mandatory scope. So see here, opens the Excel workbook providing a scope for Excel activities. So basically it will open the Excel. Okay, so basically it will open the instance of the Excel application. And once we have given this Excel application scope, we have to give the path. We have to give the path on which Excel application we are going to work. So I have given a path of some student details.xls. Okay, so I have given the path of this file, student details. So in this Excel application scope, we have to mention, one is mandatory thing is we have to mention the path of the file, and the other thing which is not mandatory, so we can give but not mandatory, is sheet number. So because we may have multiple sheets, right? We may have multiple sheets. Okay, so what is the sheet which we want to read? Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and here we can set the range. Okay, so cell range, from which cell, starting cell to ending cell. If we have not given, it will read entire data in that particular sheet. Okay, so in sheet 1 it will read entire data in that. So in our case, let's say I have closed. Okay. Okay, I have some data in this. Okay, I'm not specifying any range. I'm not specifying any range. If we specify, that range of data will only be read, but if we don't give any range, it will read entire data, all this data. Okay, fine. So, and here we are referring to sheet 1 only. There is no data in sheet 2 and sheet 3. So if you want to specify any sheet 2 or sheet 3, you can specify that in, you can specify here in read range. You can specify here in read range. Okay, so now whatever the data which we are reading, whatever the data which we are reading from the Excel has to be saved in the Uipath. Okay, so we are getting the data from an external application called Excel application, and we are trying to read that. Okay, so if we observe the properties of Excel application scope, okay, so file, edit, password, if it is, if the file is having password, or if we want to encrypt that, auto save, create new file, read only, visible, okay, existing workbook.
So I get one question.
Yeah.
So now in the scope we are mentioned the path of this Excel file. Okay. For example, once we deploy this process to the production, uh, where suppose if you want to change the path, so where to mention this path like a commonly for the process.
Commonly in the sense,
So how do you change the process again? The path of the file.
so see, whatever the path up to some extent will be same. So like if you are giving from local disk, local folder or shared file, up to some extent, instead you have to change the file name. That's it. So once you change the file name, you can refer to whatever the file you are referring to. Okay, so see, for example, here I am giving student details.xls. So but till here the path is same, so if you change the file name, that is enough.
So how this will, so how the productions will work out all this kind of Excel application. So is, I mean, this is the only place to mention, or somewhere like a variables or something like some scope of the variables for application variables we can declare and we can change the path something.
No, so for one application you have to develop one sequence. So for if you have to work on multiple Excels, you have to develop multiple sequences. So there is no change of so you cannot dynamically pass whatever the Excel sheet which you want. So if you want to pass, you have to develop one more sequence to that particular Excel. If you want to reuse the same, you have to manually go and change the path. That is the only option.
So before deploying to the production, so we need to know the where is the path and the production path and put it here and deploy this. That's it. That's the only way.
This is the path of this file, not the production path.
Yeah, I understood. For
Okay.
example, okay, so today we deployed this process, okay. So tomorrow, after like 1 month or 2 months, so like a client said, okay, we need to change the file path somewhere, okay. So how do we change it?
We have to go to this one. We have to go to this sequence and change the path. There is
You
no other way.
mean you open in the production or something, or again open the process in the development box and
Yes.
change it
What?
and deploy it again?
Yes.
Oh, really?
So there is no, yeah. So if you want to make any changes, that should be done in development only, right? So it depends. So if it is the only change and there it won't have any impact, we can do it from production. But then, no, if there is any change at a folder level, that will be done from client actually. So once we execute this one, and if the client wants to change this path, he can change that. Okay. So actually, so this path changes will not come to a developer. That will be done from the client side itself.
Oh,
Okay. Fine. So yeah, I'm talking about we are reading the data from Excel, right? So we have to read the data, Excel data, into Uipath. Okay, fine. So how to read that? Basically, how to save whatever the external data which we are reading into Uipath is. See here something in the properties, read range properties, read range properties. Here under output, there is something called data table. There is something called data table. So here, see output data table object in which the read data is stored. So whatever the data which we are reading, that will be saved, that will be stored in data table. So we have to create a data table to save the data which we are reading from the Excel sheet. So go here, create a variable in data table, create a variable in data table, create and give the name. Let's say I'm giving students data. Okay, or just dt. No, I'm giving dt1. Just enter. Okay, so come to variables. So here data table dt1 is created, and what is the variable type? Variable type is data table. Scope is change the scope to sequence, not only within this sequence. Okay, I'm sorry, not within this activity. Okay, change the scope to entire sequence. Okay, so from one particular activity, do activity, I'm changing the scope of this data table to sequence. Right? Now go to activities. Now go to activities. Take output data table. There is an activity called under data table. Under data table activities, there is an activity called output data table. So see here what it will do. Writes a data table to a string using a CSV format. Now we are reading the data. So reading the data and saving the data into data table is done. Now you want to see that, okay, whatever the data is saved, you want to see that, right? So to see that, we have to output the data table. Whatever you have saved, you have to display that data. So for that purpose, we have to use output data table. Okay. Right. So take this and drag and drop. So it won't have consist any body. So it is just a simple activity. So we have to check the properties if we have to give any references. So see here, output text. Okay, so how this output data table will display the data in the format of text, but how did we save that in the format of data table? Okay, so whenever we want to display some message through message box or maybe from output panel, it will be displayed as a text, it will be displayed as a string. Okay, so we can save in whatever the format it is there, but it cannot give the same format as an output, right? But finally it will give as a text. So here give the reference of data table dt1. So whatever the data table, the data which is saved in the dt1, it will be displayed as a text output. Now go to variables. One second guys. Okay, so here small mistake. So here, so we have to give the reference of this data table in input.
Input.
Okay,
Yeah.
dt1, and this data table, whatever we are saving in this data table, we will create a message here. Okay, we will create a message here. Sorry, we will create a variable where the data will be saved, which is getting it from the data table. And create variable here. You can directly create, or you can right click and create like this. Let's say data table output dt out. Okay, fine. And check the dt out. So change the scope to sequence, and see variable type is string, because we will be getting a string type of data to display. Fine. Fine. So now we have created input and output. Now take a message box to display the data. Message box. So here just we have to give the reference of output data. Okay. Now here I will introduce one new activity, external activity which is not related to Excel, that is delay. So here delay. Okay. So why I am using this one is, see here, delays workflow execution for a given duration. delays workflow execution for a given duration. So why I want to take this is, for example, if you want to just wait for some time after execution to display the message, you can give this delay. Okay, delay after message, or we can run directly also. Okay, we can run directly also, so that why we have to use this delay is whenever you want to wait for some time, so it will display the message, right? It will display the data content in a message box. So if you want to read, if you want to read for some time, you can give this. But in this case it is not required, because this is the final execution and that is the result which we are getting, and until you see that, it will be there. So we will see that without delay, and if we give delay, what happens. So here we don't see any activity, any big impact, but maybe we can use this delay in some other use case. Okay, fine. So let it be like this only. We will end like this only. Fine. So yeah, is everything clear? I have taken Excel application scope, given the path of the Excel. Okay, and here we can specify the sheet and range. And I have created here variable, and I have created here where it has to save, and here in the message box I'm giving the reference of the saved data to display. Yeah.
One question, Saket.
Yeah.
See, the DT out, the data type is data table, correct?
DT out is string. See here.
Oh,
1 second. See here. DT out is string.
okay, okay,
So DT1 input is saving as data table.
okay.
Output which it is giving as string.
Okay.
It is converting.
So the message will be coming like a one by row or something, a column by.
We will
How
see.
it will.
So you will understand once we execute. Save it. Run. So this is the data we are expecting. See, it is giving as a string. Now you got it. It is taking the tabular data, displaying as a string. Okay, is it fine?
Yeah.
Okay, so it will be available. So it will be available until you click OK. So that is the reason I have not taken delay. Okay. Fine. So this is how our first use case using Excel application to read the data. And so what we have seen is, first thing in this use case, first thing what we have observed is how to install the packages. Okay. So if whenever we want to work with any external application, how to install the packages, and how to check once you install, how to confirm whether you have installed successfully or not, is you have to go to app integration. And you have to check whether the package which you have installed is able to reflect here or not. So see here, Excel. So that means you got all the Excel activities. Okay, app integration, and check whatever the package you have installed. And after that, coming to this our use case, Excel activities, we have used Excel application scope. This is first thing, new thing which we have seen. And read range, of course, it is part of the Excel scope. Output data. So here we have started using data table. Okay, here we are started using data table. Okay, so in UiPath, remember, whenever you want to save the data, it has to be saved as a data table. Okay, whenever you want to save the data, it is saved as a data table in a just like a table format. Fine. So this is what have seen this. So we'll go to the next use case.
So Saket, in the Uipath World version 2017, there is no icon manage package, but I can see
Yes,
only in the
yes, it was not there. So it is recently updated. So there was, I think, somewhere here in this place there was some. I don't remember actually. So yeah, so UI has been changed a bit, and the options are also changed a bit. Even this one, the project activities, even in the side panel, these were not like this.
yeah.
Yeah. So there is a small change in. So whenever you see a new version of UiPath, you will see that changes. But then the at a larger space, it won't change. There will be only few UI changes. That's it, and few features will be added. So that will be there won't be any major changes. If there are any major changes, we will definitely get a notification. Okay, fine. Okay, so now we'll go to the next use case. Ian, this will work with Excel application only. So this will be so with Excel we will be working a lot in real time. Okay. Now what we have to do is same thing. We have to read the Excel data. We have to read the Excel data. Now this time I want to write the same data which I have read into another Excel. Another Excel. Okay, so this is what our requirement is now. And so go to UiPath, create a new sequence. Excel. Right. Okay, I have taken a new sequence. So again, as I said, it is mandatory to take Excel application scope activity. Okay, application take Excel application scope activity. Let's say I want to use the same Excel. Take the path. Take the path of that within quotation. Paste. Okay, so now take read range. Okay, the same activity which we have seen. Read range. So see here in Excel, read cell formula, column range row. Okay, take read range. Oops. Okay, so if you want to refer any particular sheet, you can do. So here we have to create the data table. We have to create the data table. Whatever we are reading, it will be saved in this data. Create variable. Let's say student data, student dt. Okay, fine. And variables, give the scope as sequence. Now we have to take one more application scope. We have to take one more Excel application scope. Why? What is the reason is, what is the requirement? We have to write the data into another Excel, right? So I'm not working with single Excel application. Now I'm working with two different applications. Reading the data from one Excel, writing the data to another Excel. So that is the reason we have to take one more Excel application scope activity. So Excel application activity. Okay. Here we have to specify in which Excel you want to save. So let's say I will give the same. Okay, paste. Okay, so this time, let's say this time, change the path name. It will create a new file in the same path in the here only. So we observe we have 4 files. Once we execute, it will create a new file with the name which we are giving here. So let's say I'm just giving S2U. Okay, I'm just giving the file name as STU. Okay. Take read range. No, right range only. Okay, because we are writing the data, right? So see here, similar to read range, we have write range also. So now we are writing the data from this Excel to this Excel, new Excel called stu.xlsx. Okay, so take write range. So see here, writes the data from a data table in a spreadsheet starting from string cell. Okay, if starting cell, okay, whatever it is, so if the sheet does not exist, a new one will be created. Okay, so if I have not given this name, it will create fine. So take this right range. Okay, so we can specify the sheet, we can specify the range. So here give the reference of the data table which you have created here. So see here, we have created a data table output, right, where it is saving the data once it has read the data. So we have to give the reference. Okay, and check the properties if we are missing anything. Yeah, so this is one of the important things. So options, add headers. So by default it is unchecked. Okay, by default it is unchecked. What happens if we have not checked is, we won't get these headers. Once we get the output, we will not be able to see these headers. roll number, name, marks, exam date. We will get this data. We will get this data, but we will not get these headers. So if we want to read the headers also, we have to make sure that it is checked. Okay. So I have checked this add headers. Fine. So that's it. Very simple. Okay. So I have read the data, given the path, created a variable, data table variable. Okay. I created a data table variable, and I have opened another Excel sheet with a name given. Okay. I have already given the name, with which name it has to create a new file, and I have given reference of the data table where it is reading the data from the Excel sheet, and with this Excel file it will create and write the data into the newly created Excel sheet. Fine guys, any doubt in this?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Okay, so let's execute. Save it. So what we will get is, we don't get any message or something like that. So we have to just go to this folder. We have to just go to this. So see here. Have you observed? It has created new Excel, copied the data, and this is student details. If we go to this folder, see here, STU, a new file is created. A new file is created, and open this file. So see here. Okay, color. If we want to get this color, we have other activities to get the color as it is also. It can even copy the color also. So if we go to this one, let's say color. So see, get cell color. If you want to get the color of the cell, okay, you can get this color. Okay, so there is an activity called get cell color. Get set range color. If you want to set a color range to particular from one cell to another cell, and you can set the range, it will get the color also. Fine guys. So only thing is here, exam date we are not getting because the format. Okay, so the format is different. Okay, so yeah, it is.
Saket, here, for example, instead of writing into the new file, if you want to do the same file with different Excel, so we can also do, right?
I didn't get you.
You write this data into the new Excel file. Okay, I don't want
Yes.
to create a new Excel file, but I want to use the same existing Excel, but I want to create a new Excel, the same from where the data is you're copying.
So you don't want to create an Excel, but you want to create an Excel from the same Excel. I'm not
Yeah,
understanding that.
you in the same existing Excel, you can create the new sheet. Okay, then
Okay, you want
you
to
can
create a
write the
new
data.
sheet. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay, fine.
new sheet. Then
Uh,
you need to create this application activity, right? So
no. So you can just specify. So here there is no. Whenever you are working with new Excel, then only you have to take this Excel application.
okay.
No need of taking this one. So you have to just give. You have to specify the sheet number. Okay. So here in the you take the read range. Okay, read range as sheet 1, take write range. Okay, take write range and specify sheet 2.
Sheet. Okay.
That's it, and give the reference. So you have created a data table variable here, student detail, student dt, right, studt. Okay, here you are creating in write range sheet 2, give the reference, of this
Yeah, same
data
thing.
table.
Same
Yeah,
STU
that's
DT table. Okay.
yeah. So that's the only change. But you will not take Excel applications code there.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so in this way, irrespective of the data, so because this is a small data, irrespective of the data, you can just create this Excel, or if you want to create a new sheet, even that is possible. Or if you want to, you know, if you are interested in only some particular data, like, so if you want only this data, you can specify. Okay, you can specify this. So this one is the address of this is B3 and you D5. So you can just specify the range and get the data. Same thing. And if you want to work this on particular colors, okay, I have shown, right. So there are get seller color, set range color. You can just explore all the activities. Okay. So practically we cannot touch every activity and take the use case. Okay. You can observe and explore, right? Fine. Anything else?
Yeah, that's the only thing. But I mean, I'm just repeating my starting question. For example, if you consider any, okay, because I'm from the .NET background, okay, for any .NET background, so there is some common file, okay, where we will specify the like a database connections, everything that will be used in the application. Okay, for example, after 1 year something again they will change the database name, something different passwords, and okay, so we'll change only the one file. Okay, we no need to deploy the whole application. But here, how is the same thing applicable here, or no? We can do again in the development box, we can change the path and do it in the UQ and again to deploy something like that production.
No. All that is not required. You just see deployment. You won't do anything. So it is just a path change, right? So you will change
Correct,
the path. That's
because
it.
for changing path, you need to open the process, right? That's what I'm asking question.
Yeah. So path, where the path is there,
It's in the
where is
process, right? It's in the process.
so we have to open the process.
So so you will copy the process. You will copy the dot XAML in the again development box from production to development box. Open the process and change the path again. Again deploy into the production.
No. All that is not required. So see here, when you deploy this
Okay.
and want to run at at a user level, okay. So there will always it is a development environment. This is a studio, okay. So when a client is running, it will get this range. Okay, so the path can be given, sheet can be given, range can be given. So how a developer is able to give that one. So when he is working, we are giving automation solution to client. Okay, so the client should be able to change a bit. Okay, so he won't be working, he won't be using this automation solution
So
for
where he
only
can
this
change?
particular
Where,
path, right?
where he can change?
So there is something called bot runner for him. So in that they can change. The client can change. So for that we need not go for development, production, deployment. Nothing is necessary.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is dynamically can be
I
changed.
know. I mean,
So
bot.
there.
Okay, bot is something kind of like a machine only.
Yes. So it is like an agent. We will see. So that
Okay.
is at an orchestrator and bot level. So it is a bit advanced. We will see.
Okay. Yeah,
At the
that
end of
that is
the
what I'm.
sessions.
Yeah, that is what I'm asking question. Correct. Yeah. So for example, are we creating any variable something? Okay, for this variable. Okay, application. I mean, Excel path file. Okay, something like that.
Yeah, so you can see that when we are discussing about Uipath robot orchestrator. So there is a centralized mechanism where
Okay.
we deploy these processes, and from there you will get these outputs and all. So all this is developer environment. Whatever we are seeing here. So this is see here UiPath Studio. UiPath Studio is a developer environment, not a client environment, not a user level
I
environment.
know. I mean, I understood. I mean, this is a studio only, but see, what we are doing. This is the
Yeah.
development, right? Process
You
is a
yeah,
development, right?
you
It
understand?
doesn't matter like it's
So
studio or something like a production or QA, but the Excel automation you are doing activities, that is a development, right?
yeah. So
That's
you
what
will
I'm
see that
asking.
when we
Yeah.
are discussing
Yeah,
orchestrator.
studio I understood, okay, but studio is kind of like a framework. Like for example, in .NET framework, it's just like a UA Path Studio. Is it correct? Same thing?
Yeah.
correct, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that studio I understood. Okay, but whatever we are doing Excel file process, that is a kind of development only, right? So when we do all the process, it will create as a XAML. So we'll send this XAML into the production part only, correct?
Yes. So see, we cannot discuss all that production issues and all. So thing is here we have to see how the development will be done in the studio. Okay. So that we will see when we are discussing about orchestrator. Okay.
I mean that's true only, but I'm asking that question generally. Okay, how these variables will be deploying? I mean, creating like a centralized variables.
That is what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
can see that when we are discussing about orchestrator.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks again.
Yeah. Okay, fine, guys. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Bye.